Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. So this video is going to be the summary of the Final Fantasy XIV announcement showcase, where I'm just going to be going over the heaviest hitting points from the showcase without bogging you down with too many details. Again, if you want details, I do suggest that you actually go and refer to the actual announcement showcase full video, because this is meant to just be a very quick digest or summary. Just before I get into it, this is new content for my channel. I'm trying to do a kind of super short digest summary series on some of the information coming out, and so if this helps you, please hit that like button, and as always, if you want to help support the channel, please consider cat daddying that subscribe button. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Currently, it should be noted that the information that we know of the expansion so far is incomplete, as a lot of the information is going to be deferred to May 15th and 16th for the Digital Fanfest. The Digital Fanfest will be a completely free event, and so feel free to tune in. The Fanfest, however, you can support the developers by buying minions or the Lunar Whale mount, which is going to be a unique 8-seater mount, which is actually the first 8-seater mount that we've had in-game. And here, I thought the car with 4 people was insane. This has completely blown that out of the water. Likewise, you're going to hear me say a few times as I'm going over the information that information has been delayed until May, and so we're going to have to wait until May to get the full details of some things. 2 brand new jobs have been introduced for 6.0. One of them is going to be a healer, and the second of all is going to be a melee DPS. More information on the melee DPS is going to be provided in May. The healer's official name is the Sage, and that the Sage in the trailer has been wearing the artifact gear especially fit for Alpha No. The weapon is called a Nolus, which is a unique weapon type for Final Fantasy XIV that is controlled by Aether. The unlock conditions for this is that you will have one other job at level 70 or above and have purchased the Endwalker expansion. This will start in Limsa. The starting level of this class is going to be level 70. The concept behind this healer are that it's going to be a barrier type healer. With the addition of the Sage, the healers are actually going to undergo a rework where we are going back to a barrier healer versus a quote-unquote pure healer. There is going to be the difference where a white mage is going to be a pure healer, along with the Astrologian, where the Astrologian is actually having its toolkit revamped so that it is more of a pure healer rather than a barrier healer or a pure healer depending on the sex. And so when we are talking about the Sage, it is in particular a barrier type healer alongside the Scholar. The unique feature of the Sage that really differentiates it from the other healers is that it's going to have a unique experience where they are going to be able to augment their own magic abilities, although the field details of that and how they're going to go about doing that has not been fully unveiled yet. Overall, the general approach of the story is that 6.1 will begin a brand new, completely separate new adventure from the Zodiark and Hydaelyn adventure, and that we're going to see the wrap up to the Zodiark Hydaelyn storylines in 6.0. We will move from Hydaelyn and to the moon apparently. And so what we're going to have is that basically all the people on Hydaelyn are going to put their hopes and dreams into the Warrior of Light and send them to the moon and hopefully save the planet. And all for the low price of 999 gil, you can teleport to the moon, right? Right? And as a little bit of a hint that Fandaniel is keeping a very big secret, but there are no more details given as those would have gone into spoilers. Likewise, with every expansion, we're going to get new areas, and we're going to get a peek at the story art of Radzat Han, which is a smaller of 2 towns, and there is a large town that is not yet talked about, but we will get more information on later. We are in particular looking at Radzat Han, that is from Thavnair, the land likewise of the Thavnairian onion, for those who have farmed it like myself, as well as dancer fashions and much more. Likewise, Thavnair is going to be the place where we are going to be encountering the Matanga beast tribe, and likewise we are also going to be looking at Garlemald, where we are currently seeing that Garlemald is not quite in a normal state of affairs, as you might expect it to be like properly architected. It looks a little bit devastated, so that is leading a little bit of intrigue into the storyline because we need to find out exactly what's going to go on there. New enemies that we could encounter have been hinted at being Anima from Final Fantasy X that has come to Final Fantasy XIV. Likewise, we can see some dungeon pictures that looks like we're close to the end of the world, ruins and large statues, burning jungles. We can see one that's looking very biological, and then likewise we can see one that kind of looks like Castrum Marinarum. I'm not really sure that we can put this one on pasta though. The new expansion brings a brand new high-end raid which is going to be titled as Pandemonium for 6.0. That is said to be in a completely brand new unique location. Currently, Alliance raids have been announced that they will be coming for 6.0, but no details will be given until the May Fanfest. The developers have stated that there is going to be plans for more small-scale PvP content modes that are more casual and more immersive, while removing role restrictions so that people can get more into the PvP modes. There's also a goal of a category of reward that isn't just gear in order to incentivize it to different players. There's also been a stated trust system expansion that is going to bring in different types of ways to interact with your trust system, and likewise we are also getting Instanian, also as I have many times called in the past Einstein, added to our roster of companions to take on the trust system as a melee DPS. The Gold Saucer is actually getting a brand new mode added to it, where the developers haven't told us exactly what it is yet. Likewise, that's probably going to be for May, but they did say that it has been a very large undertaking and it's to the level of Mahjong, so likewise it's going to be a very large addition to the Gold Saucer. A completely brand new feature called the Island Sanctuary was actually announced during this showcase, which I'm actually very excited for. So you can enjoy a bit of slow living, and there is some gatherer and crafter stuff, but this is going to be content that is open for all players. Basically, you go to a deserted island and you're able to do things like raise animals, cultivate the land, and take things like fruits, vegetables, and probably sell them. Likewise, you apparently can take minions on the range and let them roam. It's basically taking this deserted island and really molding it into something. To me, it's giving me, from what I've heard so far, Animal Crossing Farmville kind of vibes. I'm actually pretty excited for this. Ishgard Housing is finally going to become available as of 6.0, which the developers did state that they are paying attention to feedback and they're trying to make enough plots available to players to fulfill the demand, although they did add the caveat that the firmament as we see it right now might not be exactly how it is when it finally becomes available for housing. The developers did bring how they are going to be doing battle system adjustments, and in particular, they are going to be downscaling all of the numbers just in order to make them easier for the servers to handle primarily. However, on the screen you can see that there's a list of more reasons about that, but basically you can expect experience values, damage values, and a whole lot more to just be scaled down. Relative, like percentage-wise, it's still going to be like the same damage, you aren't going to become a weaker character, but these are just primarily to make it so that the packet size is smaller, that the server at the back end isn't going to run into overflow errors, and the like. So you are not losing player power. They emphasize that so much during the live letter, but it is going to be lower numbers just so that it's easier to work with. As of 6.0, all of your belts are not going to be allowed to be equipped anymore, and they are not going to give you any stats. They're not going to be a thing anymore. The developers did this because just they are not even graphically there, and that they're just a stat stick, and what is going to happen with all the current belts is that they are going to be moved to Calamity Scavengers if they are equipped on something like a retainer or your character. One of the biggest features coming in with 6.0 that I am actually very excited about is that there is going to be data center travel, meaning that if you want to say visit me, you can come visit me on Aether on Gilgamesh. Well, that is all for this video, and I hope that this helps you, and I have tried to super condense all the information here for you. And as always, if this content helped you at all, I would super appreciate if you lobbed a Necromancer, Beastmaster, what's the melee DPS? Whatever it is, lob that info at that like button, and cat daddy that subscribe button. And have to take care, and happy announcements, yes!